Hey, it's Emerald. How you guys doing today? I just wanted to hop on here and say it's been quite the eventful weekend, the 4th of July weekend. And of course, you know that bill has been signed. They call it that so-called you know what, but I ain't calling it that because it is not that. And then some. I wanted to hop on here real quick and just give a quick evaluation or synopsis of my take on this whole thing. I've been meaning to put this video out for a little while now, and I don't mean to get political by any means, but you know me, I can't hold my tongue. I gotta just come on here and speak my mind. Now that I'm in front of the camera, I want to take advantage of that to just say this, to just, you know, put my 2 cents out there. So with this big, so-called beautiful, there's going to be massive changes in this next, I'm going to say, few months. Massive changes. Things as we know it, it's going to look so different. And it's going to start with, of course, sweeping cuts of Medicaid insurance across state lines, across the states. Different states will approach it differently. There's not going to be any rhyme or reason as to what, how they're going to do the cuts, or how certain cuts will be put in place, is what I'm trying to say. Different states will approach it differently. Some will go slower than others, but some will go quite aggressive. So watch out for that. Be mindful of that. You've got to realize that this is not an if. It has happened by way of the bill being signed, but it's a matter of how aggressive is this going to take place and how is this going to affect you. So number one is the sweeping cuts of Medicaid, and it's coming. It's coming. That's going to affect thousands, if not millions of people, not thousands, millions of individuals will be affected. Next will be, of course, in my humble opinion, the average price of houses in the U.S. Globally, the housing market has already started. It has gone through stages of decline globally in all of the G7 countries, with the exception of the U.S. The U.S. actually had been inflated, artificially inflated, I might add. But it has been inflated and it held its value. But you can see there's a crack. There's a crack, and it's going to happen. And when the U.S. Real estate market tanks, it tanks fast. It's faster than any other country out there. And unfortunately, that's going to be the case. So you're going to see average price of homes fall drastically, especially in the fall. You're going to see that. It has been happening in certain MSAs, certain cities, more so than others, but you're going to see nationally now in the fall, especially, that house prices are just going to tail. They're just going to spiral. Along with that will come an increase of in the supply. The increase of houses for sale are going to shoot up through the roof in the fall again. Okay, my 2 cents on that. Moving right along, the third thing on my list, and I'm not trying to go sequentially. I'm just saying that these are the things that I kind of surmise that's going to happen. Now, don't take, this is not gospel. This is just me and my 2 cents, as I said. But I just wanted to put this video out there because for some individuals that are not taking what's going on, taking seriously what's going on in this particular time frame, in this economy, for those that are still sitting and taking a break, you need to start planning. And that's what this is about. You need to start planning for what's going to come next for you. You can't just sit back and say, oh, well, you know, I'm sitting this one out. Enough of that. Enough of that. This is where you need to start making strategic plan. Put in place what you can put in, as far as, I'm not telling you to sell the ranch, you know, that might work for some. I'm not telling you to sell the ranch, but if you are, you know, sitting on the fence about what to do, sit it out elsewhere. Sit it out elsewhere. You don't have to sit this one out where you are right now. If you can do so, by all means. If you can't, take other measures as far as, stockpiling certain things, having a plan A, B, and C, location A, B, and C. I hope that makes sense. So keep those things in mind. All right, now moving right along. As I said, number 3 on the list, rental prices are going to fall. They're going to fall because of the fact that the economy is going to also fall. So when you have fallen growth in the economy, job loss, fallen growth in the economy, I mean, it's only inevitable that rental prices will fall. Those that are dependent on rental rates, certain rental rates, you're going to have a rude awakening. No offense or but. Those that are having a rude awakening right now are Airbnb host owners. Even if you do rental arbitrage, you might want to consider taking a step back. I'm just saying, my 2 cents on that. If you're in the US and you're doing rental arbitrage for Airbnb, this is the time to pull the plug without question. Just, I'll leave it at that. All right, moving right along. 4th thing on the list that I have here is that there's going to be a continued standstill in all of the tariff trades talk. There will be no agreement, nothing immediate anyways. There will be, of course, China and the US had panned something out, but nothing's going to come of it, truth be told. When I say nothing's going to come of it, it's not going to be either here nor there. It's going to allow goods to continue to flow, but much slower than what it was before. It will not revert back to what it was pre-DJ era, DJ 2025. It's not going to go back to that level. All right. Moving right along. Number 5, as a result of this ongoing tariff blackmail, that's what I call it. Listen, you got to call things for what they are, okay? As a result of this ongoing tariff blackmail, retail sales in America is going to have its worst report in for Q2, but more so for Q3, because Q2 is really just it's already slow anyways. It's slower because we're talking April, May, June, but July, August, September for back to school, university, for all of that. Like, trust me, the reporting for the 3rd quarter is going to be a shocker. And as I said, I don't wish these things to happen. I'm just calling it as I see it. And I'm just saying this is what I suspect is going to happen. And it is going to actually be worse reporting for the 2nd and 3rd quarter to that of the 2008 crash. Number 6, it's also going to be the lowest new home start since the early 80s. Yes, even more so than the 2008. The lowest new home starts since the early 80s, when there was a recession in the US. Okay. That is what I foresee. Lowest car sales since 2020. Okay. All right. All in a nutshell, this is what I see happening next. It's going to be a disastrous September, October in the markets. In fact, it's going to be spearheaded by another even more devastating Japanese yen carry trade. In my opinion, that's more than likely what's going to happen. If it's not the yen, it's going to be the euro. And I say the euro because they're next in line for a massive correction. So one of the two is going to have a huge fall in the valuation of their currency. All right, next. That will send a ripple effect, a sell off in the bond markets, specifically the US bonds. And let's just say that, let's hope that I'm wrong. I pray that I'm wrong. But if there is a massive sell off in the US bond market, there's going to also be, again, a subsequent sell off in the other G7 nation, their bonds as well. Not as drastically, but there's going to be other sell offs. And the contagion won't be contained because, of course, that's going to affect the stock market. And, of course, the US lead in the pack. Just saying. Listen, I'm only saying these things because I'm hoping that people will start to wake up to the fact and open their eyes to what's really going on, and to start preparing for certain changes that are going to come, imminent changes that are going to come down the pike, especially in this next 2 to 3 months. Okay, so I will just. Okay, so in saying all of that, in terms of what's going to happen in the economy, you will see that this is all on the surface, by the way. This is all, one thing will lead to the next, and it's all, of course, not superficial. It's just, it's stuff that we're seeing and we're experiencing. It's tangible. It's happening. But there's another layer beneath what you're seeing in the market, what you're seeing on the news, what's being reported. There's another layer that's not being reported, that's not being talked about. And that is the real reason for this big, so-called beautiful, what. There's a deeper underlying reason for the bill. It is not for all of the cuts that they're doing. It is that. But it is not only for the cuts that they're doing. In fact, the cuts are it's just a transfer of wealth. Think about it. That's what it is. The cuts, it's a wealth transfer, transferring wealth from the poor to the rich and wealthy. It's a wealth transfer. Cuts into tax cuts for the rich. Okay, but it's not just that. That's the superficial, that's this level of what you see, but there's something else even more sinister in that bill. Something even more profound in that bill that nobody is talking about, nobody is seeing. And again, that's going to come. So you will see soon enough the real reason for as I said, the bill. And that's to be played out in the next piece of the puzzle. Just wait for it. All right, it's your girl M. Like, follow, and subscribe. Subscribe, it's YouTube. Like, subscribe, and share this video. It would be interesting to see how these next few months play out. But the most important thing that I want to leave with you is you need to start to prepare, really and truly, like without question. Decide what's important for you. Like, you have to strip away the stuff that is stealing your time, stealing your energy, stealing your essence, and get back to the real core of what is important to you and your family. Okay. I say all that to say this. You probably think I wasn't going to say it on this video, but I say all that to say this. Get your house in order without question. My position right now is to try and equip as many people as possible to build a business online that is location free. That's my mandate, is to empower as many individuals to build a business that will allow them to be anywhere in the world and still be able to run that business and survive. Because the way I see it right now with AI, with all of these changes coming into play, there's no assurance of anything. So you have to take matters into your own hands to build a life for you and your family. And you have to start today. No one's coming to save you. Okay. If we know anything, we know that much by now. All right. So again, it's your girl M. Have a fantastic day and stay well, stay connected, stay focused. Be blessed.